Hello everybody, this is Chromisco018, and this is going to be my thoughts on Yuri on Ice, episode 6. I tried to rewatch the episode, but there was just so many different characters, I don't know if I'd be able to remember them all, so if I messed up on any names, I apologize. But yeah, we're going to the China Cup, I think, or the China Championship, whatever you want to call it, before, the Grand Prix, obviously. And we get to see Peachy, I think that's how you pronounce his name, which is that friend of Yuri's that had his other friend, compose the song that Yuri's using. Hang on. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't too loud. I was just trying to read up on, the synopsis, just so I have an idea of what I need to talk about. Like I said, we get to meet a lot of new characters. We get to meet, Leo, who was dang it. I had to look it again, because it was one of the new skaters. I'm gonna copy that. Go back. Guanghong was China's, I guess, representative. And Leo de la Iglesia was the gold medalist for the Skate America one. And the one for Canada was won by Jean-Jacques Leroy. And then, followed by Yuri and someone named Emile. And they have to wait, obviously, for the next day for this to start. And Yuri and Victor end up running into Victor's old coach, who ends up yelling at him, reprimanding him for leaving and getting out of skating and to coach Yuri. And, well, Victor doesn't really care about that. And he actually invites them for dinner at a Chinese restaurant, and he declines, and they just leave to go to dinner. And they actually end up running into Peachy. Who else? Who was Celestino? I don't know, but I'm guessing that is his coach. And yeah, he actually asks Yuri and Victor if his coach can join them, and they were kind of uncomfortable, but he turns up anyway. And Victor, repeatedly offers him shrimp. Won't stop. And Yuri obviously doesn't eat the raw shrimp because, no raw seafood before competition. Because you don't want to get sick with that, and that would be the worst thing to happen. And Leo and Guanghong actually run into each other outside by, a street vendor because they were getting food. And Leo tries to get Guanghong to join them at the restaurant where Peachy and the others are. And Guanghong's a little apprehensive about that until he mentions that Victor is there, in which case he gets excited and they go over there. Let's see. Oh my god. Hang on. What? I think we do. Sorry, my brother was asking if we had hot water or not, because our hot water heater's been acting up. That's what I think we do, because I took a shower last night. And, well, when they get there, Victor and Peachy's coach have had a little too much to drink. And Victor's trying to get Yuri to go to a hot spring while apparently being shirtless, and I'm like, oh dear lord, poor Yuri. And he tries to get his coach up, who ended up passing out because of the alcohol. And they end up taking a picture of Victor and Yuri. Well, Victor obviously being drunk and silly. And a couple of the others actually end up taking pictures of that as well, and they actually end up uploading that online, much to everybody else's dismay, because one of them uploaded it, and then the rest had obviously not, and they got mad at that person for it. And we actually get introduced to another character the next day, which I don't know if anybody else feels the same way about this, but this guy and his skating makes me very uncomfortable. And if you know the show, you know who I'm talking about. Kristoff. Because the guy is very flirty and obviously wants Victor back on, in competitive skating, and a bunch of others do as well, and they get mad at Yuri because he's essentially hogging Victor all himself. And, well, Yuri starts to question whether he should let Victor go and go back to competitive skating. And like I said, Kristoff just makes me uncomfortable. And obviously the skating starts. Peachy goes first, and apparently he ends up skating to a song, I'm guessing, that's not really real, from a movie that's not really real in this our universe, but it's real in that show, obviously. If it actually is real, someone link me to it. I'd like to see what all the fuss is about. Anyway, he ends up skating to that song, and everybody is clapping in time with the music because they all know the song. And apparently, he is the first Thailand person to skate to the song, which I don't know why. I have no clue, to be honest. And Peachy apparently only has one jump during his short program, and he ends up messing it up. But he ends up doing well, getting his like a personal best score for the short program because he had apparently enthralled everybody with his skating because of the music, even despite him messing up on the jump, which I think is good. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking through the summary of the episode just to make sure I don't forget anything. Let's see. Apparently, Guanghong is next, but we don't really get to see much on his skating because Yuri is having a bit of an internal crisis on whether, he should let Victor go and all that. But when it ends up being Yuri's turn to skate, Victor tells him that you no longer have to think of pork cutlet bowls when you do your skating for this song, because this is the one where he had to originally skate against Irio back in episode 3, I think. And that was what he had to think of in order to seduce Victor when he would skate to that song. And apparently he doesn't need to anymore, and he needs to show how he really is when he skates. And he actually tells Victor to, keep his eyes on him the whole time because he's going to try and obviously do that. Let's see. Yuri actually... now that I'm reading it, I just... makes me think that Yuri actually does really like Victor in a romantic way. Because I'm reading the synopsis, and he apparently ends up telling himself that he's the only one who can... I never thought about it at the time when I was watching it, because it didn't really cross my mind, but now that I'm thinking about it, he's apparently the only one who can satisfy Victor. Oh dear God, that makes me think of something else. So yeah, I think he's actually interested in Victor in a romantic way now at this point. Because I'm sure that it was just, feelings of admiration when the show first started, obviously. But I think it's kind of grown since then. Then again, this is only 12 episodes, so not a whole lot can happen in a, a slow, natural way that a relationship would happen. But like I said, so yeah, things are going to go fast. So yeah, apparently while he's doing this, he decides to try out Victor's signature move, which is a, what does it say here? A quadruple triple combination jump, which is Victor's signature move, and he actually pulls it off. And when he got done, well, you couldn't really tell what Victor was thinking because he was doing this. And he runs over and he goes to meet him. And we actually don't really get to tell at this point. I don't remember if I actually noticed it, but when in my reaction, of course, but Victor actually was, I guess, so moved by the whole thing, he actually kissed Yuri. His first kiss, and he hid it because that's why we couldn't really tell, because he didn't want everybody else to see Yuri's first kiss. So, yeah. And let's see. Oh, so that's who. I couldn't remember what the guy's name is. This is the guy that I mentioned in the description that is more intimidating than others. Georgie? I think that's how you pronounce his name. The guy who's kind of goth looking, I guess. His theme is Heartbreak, and oh dear lord, I feel bad for him, because essentially he was dating a woman and she ended up, I guess, cheating on him and leaving him in front of the guy, and he essentially is like swearing revenge against her or something, and you can feel it in the performance because everybody's getting intimidated by it. Even Yurio's getting intimidated by it, which is saying something because that guy it can be intimidating at times. And his feelings. Oh my god. Hang on. What? No. When? Okay. Anyway, while he is skating, his feelings are getting conflicted. Like, at one point he's swearing revenge against the woman who cheated on him, and then he's getting all emotional and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." Essentially, he's conflicting from anger to sadness and love, and it's just really weird. And let's see. I know it's probably going to be a really long one, but there's a lot that happens in this episode. Yeah, he got too engrossed in his performance. Let's see. Anyway, Leo is actually next, and I don't know if it's actually stated, but apparently music has really helped him when it comes to being able to do things. And this is shown in his performance. And now Peachy is worried that he's going to be overtaken in the scores, which means he wouldn't be able to get to the next round. And lastly, Chris. And oh dear lord. This guy is just, I guess you could say, the embodiment of sexual desire is the best way I could put it. And it made me uncomfortable the entire time because it wouldn't be quite a butt shot, because usually butt shots are going really in, zooming in, but it just made me uncomfortable. And it made everybody else in the freaking thing watching it uncomfortable. I'm serious, you gotta watch the performance and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it made me uncomfortable and everybody is watching it. And Victor essentially is hugging Yuri from behind while watching this whole thing. Let's see. Anyway, because of this, when Chris gets done, we find out that Yuri's in first place, which is quite surprising. Because, Yuri is not used to being in first place, because last year, when the show started, he was in last place. So first place is a big jump from last year. Anyway, yeah, you'll see my thoughts on this episode in the reaction. Though, if it's kind of loud, I apologize. I didn't realize the volume of the episode was really loud when I did it. Anyway, that's about all I have to say, and I will see everybody next time.